Welcome back to ICO Review, and today we'll be revisiting the Acorn Collective. But before we do, today's video is brought to you by ICOexplainervideos.com. If you are looking for a premium quality animated explainer video for your ICO or blockchain related product, then these guys are for you. Best on the market in my opinion, that's why I have them here as a channel sponsor. 50% of your project can be paid for in your ICO's tokens. So check them out in the description below. Now, the Acorn Collective. Time and time again, these guys seem to be delivering on good CSR, corporate social responsibility, good intentions, just an overall decent vibe when it comes to trying to do the right thing by the past and future investors. So there have been big changes for the Acorn Collective in terms of their token economics, as well as their ICO date. What a lot of ICOs are failing to do, in my opinion, is adopting or adjusting, I should say, to the new climate, to adapting themselves to the new market patterns. So the Acorn Collective have done a few things. First of all, they've adjusted their ICO dates to be the 26th of May through to the 24th of June. So it makes sense. Wait until the market picks up a little bit. We have a little bit more total market volume re-entering. They've changed their hard cap. In fact, they've lowered their hard cap to reflect what's happening on the current market. And they've announced an additional exchange listing. And for the sake of this video, I'll be using this article as reference. This is the Medium article that contains all of the relevant information to what we're talking about today. Link in the description below. I'll skip the first bit because a lot of it is going over, what we covered in the first and second videos about the Acorn Collective. What it's all about, the fact that only 0.19% of crowdfunding revenue goes to developing countries. But in case you're not familiar with these things, they're here on the screen in front of you. So just to breeze over it, for those of you that aren't familiar yet with the Acorn Collective, is a blockchain-based crowdfunding platform with terrific corporate social responsibility in my opinion. Having a look at some of the projects that are already on board, taking food projects to third world countries, or medical prosthetics, and even assisting musicians and artists to crowdfund their projects. It's just a feel-good space. It's what a crowdfunding space, in my opinion, should be. And that's why I like to give them some airtime here. So having a look in front of us, just real quick, because I want to get to the more important, the token economics and things like that. So I do give you a brief rundown talking about access to crowdfunding, that only 1.9% of crowdfunding revenue goes to developing countries. If you weren't aware of that, there's a good story link here below, talking about the success of crowdfunding projects, talking about that 78% of crowdfunding projects fail, which is very similar to how many ICOs fail as well, as somewhere between 70 and 80%, depending on when you're looking. The reason why they mention this rate is the fact that Acorn offers integrated marketing tools and services as a part of their crowdfunding engine. They go on to say that this crowdfunding engine will be backed by data from previous campaigns, helping founders make the right marketing choices. Now, that's a tool that I haven't seen around before, and it's a nice adage. Instead of spending thousands of dollars on a consulting firm, etc., the Acorn Marketplace will offer additional Acorn third-party services to aid in the funding campaign and subsequent production delivery. So it's a nice amount of support happening there. Then the founders will be given the opportunity to withdraw funds at milestones during their campaign to use within the marketplace for extra reach, which is not something I think you can do on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo, platforms like that, but I could be wrong. Talking about transparency, which, if you've viewed this channel before, we're huge on transparency here. I say we, I mean me anyway. But I'll let you read that section in your own time, skipping down to what's happening with the token economics and the hard cap. So first of all, Acorn acknowledges that the crypto and ICO markets have changed drastically within the last 6 months. I would even argue that they've changed drastically within the last 3. As such, their old token model is, this is me ad-libbing, but stale. The old token model is very stale. It was easier at the time, in their words, to sell out. And I like that they phrased it that way. The uncertainties surrounding ICO hype and income regulation made it a safer bet to raise funds immediately and to get the funding stage over with quickly. The market has changed since then. There is still regulatory uncertainty, but going for one large raising stage is not standard practice anymore because, frankly, the market volume isn't there. I don't think people are taking as wild a risk on ICOs, expecting 1,000% returns. So therefore, they've listened to the feedback of their community, people like myself and people like the regular contributors in their Telegram channel. And they've made the following changes to the token model, which I'm into. So if I'm remembering correctly, the company token reserve is actually increased, which will be pretty good, actually, I believe, for the token economics in the long run. So there'll be a lower circulating supply. So their total supply is actually going to be 65 million OAK now, as opposed to the previous 90, with public allocation being at 39 million, which is down from 72. And I love that they've laid it out here for us. You can see on the screen in front of us, for those of you that aren't on the podcast, that represents a change from 80% public allocation to 60% of public allocation. Main ICO raising target is now 25 million OAK, which is down from 65. Non-public allocation is 26, 40%. So essentially what we're seeing here is a hard cap lowered to 40 million. That is, in my opinion, far more achievable in the current market, especially moving into late May. We've seen a lot of green on CoinMarketCap in the last 7 to 10 days. So if the trend of this kind of creep up, pull back continues, then yeah, I think that Acorn Collective are a shoo-in. I think that they're going to be much closer to reaching their goal than what they were with the initial ICO dates originally. And they go on here to make a few justifications and clarifications as to their decisions and the nature of the project. I will read the first one. However, the changes they have made to their platform and token model represent a major revamp of Acorn's whole business model. In addition, their value proposition and potential ICO contributions have gotten much better. All these changes, however, require a complete revision of all of their documentation and updating their existing community with these changes. From a logistical perspective, this means that they need to revise all of their documentation, including the white paper, with lots of modeling required to ensure their new position is watertight, both commercially and legally, which is bloody wise, given that at least there's a lot of regulation happening in the US we've seen with SEC. So if that were to spill into the global community, moving into the UK, or in their case, Gibraltar, though Gibraltar is really quite lax, at least if they're prepared, if they're watertight now, any potential changes aren't going to rock the boat once the platform is already launched. So it's wise on their part. And all of these changes are just to ensure Oak's status as a purely utility token and to ensure that the platform isn't threatened in any way from that aforementioned potential regulation. But all of that is in the article for you to read. So the other important note here for us is that they'll be listed on HitBTC. Now, previously they mentioned that they'll be listed on Bancor. So Bancor's fantastic for instant cash out for those of you that just want to one and done. But with HitBTC, if you're a day trader, you got in an ICO phase, but you still plan to flip the tokens and ride those charts, then now you have a platform to do that on with Oak. And it's really quite cool to have a look at their social media this long after I did the initial video. So these days I don't really look at social media presence anymore because of the presence of bots and being able to purchase a lot of followers. However, I've been on the Facebook for Acorn Collective for almost 6 months now, and have seen it grow really quite organically from the 2,400 odd to 13,000. And I really think it's the live streams and the integrative marketing that they've been doing that's really made that happen well for them. So that's where the main presence for Acorn Collective is at the moment, as well as in their Telegram. So their Telegram is at like 32,000 from, what was it when I was there? It was like 89 people. So they've really pushed the community into Telegram, onto Facebook. What's more important to me is the regular engagement, not only by members of the community, potential future investors, current investors, but the Acorn Collective team themselves. It doesn't really matter how big it's gotten. They've continued to engage and continue to foster that sense of community, which is absolutely fantastic. And from the outside looking in, bodes very well. Even their Twitter has gone to mirror the following that is in their Telegram as well. So regardless of whether they have a Twitter bounty going on that encourages retweets and likes, or whether it's organic, it still bodes fantastic for the company, because it means they're putting in the effort. It means they're grabbing attention, because of course every single time something's retweeted, it's put out into the sphere. And you have a look at this post here with David Ives' beautiful beard on it. It's been retweeted 1,600 times, So it's still, so in my opinion, they've really consistently been putting in the time and effort. And really, they've gone from being a crowdfunding platform that does the odd social media bit to being a crowdfunding and media platform, which, in my opinion, every single ICO in the space must also be a media platform on top of everything else that they do, a media producer on top of everything else that they do, in order to foster success. So it's just delightful to be on this journey with the Acorn Collective and to see them developing the way they are. But really, that's all I have for you on the Acorn Collective for this one. So don't forget, ICO coming up on the 26th of May through to the 24th of the following month. And if you're not familiar with the project, click through at the end of the video to one of the earlier explainers. I did go back and have a look at my first one, and the quality is subpar. So if you don't want to watch a subpar video, pop into their Telegram, talk to the community there, or have a look at their website. All the relevant links will be in the description below. I have been your crypto enthusiast, and I'll see you in the next video.